Hey, Harrison, it feels like we've been here before. Just the defensive effort tonight. What do you make of the mistakes, the miscues, all that stuff?
I mean, you're right. I mean, we have been here before, and my answer is similar to what I've given you guys before. I mean, last game, we put together a full game of defensive stops that allowed us to win the game tonight. We had no problem scoring the basketball. We put up 118, 120 points, but defensively, we weren't consistent in that first half. They were shooting about 60%, and then down the stretch, we just had too many miscues. Whether it was um, their guys getting open shots, back doors, scoring out turnovers, things like that. So with us, I mean, the message stays the same. And when we play consistent basketball, we have a chance to win. And when we don't, it's going to look like tonight.
Cunningham.
Yeah, Harrison, I wanted to ask you about just the events of today. And since it's the first time talking to you guys, just your team reaction, your guys' reaction to the verdict in Minneapolis and having to put that aside and then come out and play basketball.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts and prayers are still with the family and loved ones of George Floyd, just because regardless of the verdict, he's not here with us anymore. And I think, there's a little bit of confusion just in terms of the language that we use early on this summer. A lot of people are saying defund the police. And a lot of times people are separating that from abolition. And at the end of the day, there are still people being put in jail. The carceral system isn't being reduced. And people can say that progress is being made because the verdict was cast down in one way or another. And yes, the officer that was charged in this murder was held accountable, but justice is George Floyd being alive today. And I think until we're courageous enough, bold enough, and frankly, just transparent and having a conversation about reimagining what our justice system looks like as it is today, then we're not going to achieve progress, or at least the progress that we hope to see.
Jason Jones.
Aaron, you kind of touched on it already, but I was just wondering, just what type of day was it for you guys to come in, get your work in, talk about what all happened today, and then come out and play a game?
I mean, it's emotional. To have not only a case like this, but something that touches so many different communities, touches so many people. I mean, you're talking to people on the Minnesota side who they don't even know what it's going to look like when they get back home. And you talk to obviously people here on the team who, whether they've had encounters with police, family members have had encounters with police, potentially have lost loved ones, things like that. It's an emotion that's a heavy thing, and this is far from over. Systematically, there needs to be a lot of change, and it's just heavy on the heart.
Tony Harvey.
Harrison, in most of these cases, they never can be clear cut, even with somebody filming using a cell phone. Just want to get your thoughts. Was there any type of anticipation from you, before the verdict came in, whether it went one way or the other? Just to get your kind of thoughts, because normally, when cops are charged, or they don't even, sometimes charges are not even filed, but sometimes when cops are charged, we don't get a result like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think Angela Davis said, in order to get justice, you have to get to the root of things. And to me, it goes back to how George Floyd died, the situations and the circumstances in the system that allowed him to be in a situation where he could be killed in broad daylight by the police. So, for me, like I said, I'm happy for the family of George Floyd that he was held accountable. But overall, I mean, you've seen time and time again, whether it's Adam Toledo, whether it's any of these other situations where, there are lives that are being lost, by the hands of this system. And there needs to be an overarching change and going back to the root, like I said, of how is this happening in the first place? Not what does the court say, not what does the jury say, not what is the sentence going to be, but how do we get here to where the system that is supposed to protect us is militarized and is killing people.
Go back to Sean Cunningham.
Yeah, Harrison, awful segue on my part, but I have to ask you about the fans here in the building and just, looking up and seeing supporters of you guys. It's been a while since you've been able to do that. Just what did that mean to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the game itself didn't go the way you want to in front of fans, but sports is a great way for people to connect and communities to come together. So for our fans who haven't been in the arena all year, especially our frontline workers, to be able to have a night where they could be back in the arena, even though it was social distance, and have that type of atmosphere, it was great. And, hopefully we can get a win for them tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Harrison.